Good afternoon again. It's now 4 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and begin our session. For those of you who joined us after our last announcement, this video is being recorded and live streamed on the school division's YouTube channel. We ask that you keep your microphone muted for the duration and also turn your camera off. If you have a question, there is a chat feature at the bottom of your screen. And we do have someone monitoring the chat. So if you have a question, you can ask the question there and we'll work to get that answered for you. So at this time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to our principal and she can introduce herself and her team. If I believe there's another member of the staff here as well. And we'll get started. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you all for being here. Again, it is being live streamed, and it will be uploaded the video onto the website. So if you can turn your cameras off, that would be great. So that way, when others watch it later, if you don't want them seeing everything you're doing, you might prefer that. I will take all of your questions in the chat, and the ones we can't get addressed today, I promise that we will address them through an email to everyone. My counterpart, Jamie Collins, is here. I don't know if you can unmute Jamie and say hello. Can she unmute herself?
Hi.
Jamie Collins will monitor the chat, and I'll tell you a little more about Jamie later, but she will be helping between the two sites as an administrative lead. So we'll be doing that together. So I'm going to go ahead and start my PowerPoint. Eileen, if you could put that up for me, that would be great. So the themes for summer school this year are re-engage, reconnect, and reimagine. We really want to focus on bringing kids back around to school because it has been such an unusual year. In all of my years of education, we never had a year like this one. So we really want to get back and engaged into learning. And we want to reconnect students. If they have been virtual all year, they may need the chance to just be connected to a building or a teacher in person, or even maybe some other friends that we hadn't had that same kind of connection with the way we did school normally outside of a COVID year. And we're also reimagining summer school this year. We're doing some things we've never done before because this is an unusual year. So in an unusual year, we get to do some unusual things for summer school to just adjust and adapt to that. So just a little bit about what we're going to cover for the year, for the week. I'm going to give you a little introduction, go over some key dates, explain how the school sites work because there's two of them. I'll address the curriculum, the transportation, which is probably the most important thing we could focus on today because there have been a lot of questions about that. I'm going to go over the COVID mitigation of where we are now in summer school and talk a little bit about a partnership that we have with Williamsburg Library. If you have any questions along the way, please put them in the chat. And if we can't address them all at the end of our time, I promise that we will send out an email and try to address them as soon as possible. So a little bit about myself. That's a picture of me. You can click the next part, Eileen. My name is Leah Harrell. That is my email address. I work currently at James River Elementary School. I have my doctorate in curriculum focused on social emotional learning from William & Mary. That's a picture of me getting that doctorate. You get to ring a bell. It's kind of fun. Social emotional learning focuses on this idea that we stay connected, and when we're connected, we learn better, that we'll learn better in groups, or we'll learn better if we're connected to something interesting that we want to read, and that can fuel our achievement and engagement. My email is probably the best way you can get a hold of me. We do have an office phone at both sites, but I'm going to be in motion. I'm going to be in classrooms and walking around and checking on things and moving between two sites. So if you need to get a hold of me, please email me. I'm writing the subject that it's about summer school, and I will try to get back to you as quickly as I can. So in case you didn't know, summer school starts Tuesday. Summer school starts July 6th and goes till August 5th. Normally, Summer school is Monday through Thursday from 9 to 12. But 4th of July this week is Sunday. So we get July 5th off as part of that 4th of July celebration. So we'll be starting on a Tuesday. So we're going to ease into summer school with a nice 3-day week, just having Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then all the other weeks of summer school will be going that Monday through Thursday time. Oh, back one more, Eileen. Sorry, we skipped ahead. The hours are 9 to 12. So we will not take kids off of drop off, and I'll talk about that more in a minute, until about 8:55. We will not release kids to the buses till right at 12 o'clock. Those are our hours. If you have a middle school or high school student, those are not their hours. They're doing a longer day. I think a lot of their days are 8 to 1. So just understand our day is shorter. If you have a 5th grade student, they're attending with the middle school this year. That's a little different, but they aren't with the K-4 elementary schedule. They're actually going to the middle school. So their day is a little longer. So please pay attention. The elementary is a little shorter day. Go ahead, Eileen. So there are 2 school sites. Clara Bird Baker, CBB, has 12 classrooms for remediation. Mostly the students at CBB attend CBB, JRE, James River, Matthew Whaley, or Laura Lane. There are a few exceptions because of childcare where your child may be at a different site, but in most cases, that's where your child attends school, and that's the summer school they'll be going to. At Blayton, there will be 16 classrooms for remediation, and the students attend Stonehouse, DJ, Norge, Matoka, and of course, JBB. So because of that, it is a little confusing. We've usually only ever had one site, but it is also very nice for students that hopefully the bus ride is not as long. If you live all the way up at Stonehouse or all the way down at James River, hopefully we're getting you a little closer to a location than to make you go as far. I introduced you to Jamie Collins, and she is an amazing administrator. And she and I are going to split our time between the sites, but one of us will always be there. So you are always welcome to reach out and talk to Jamie too, or you might hear from her as well. It's because she will be the site lead between the sites when I can't be at one, at 2 sites at one time. So we'll split between. The great thing about our 2 sites is we have a lot of people that are supportive in there this year. We have math specialists at each site. We have reading specialists at each site, and we have counselors at each site. We had never had that before. That's a new part of the summer school system, and I'm really excited about that. I will say I just saw a quick message about a rising 5th grader. Yes, you can attend this meeting, but if you have a rising 5th grader, there is a middle school meeting that is coming right after this one, and all rising 5th graders are attending the middle school meetings. They will either be at Hornsby or Blair. So the K-4 elementary is only for kindergarten through 4th grade. You can move to the next slide, Eileen. So if you do want to contact us, the CBB Summer School office, that's the phone number, and you ask for the extension to the summer school office. I don't sit in an office. That's not my personality, and that's not how I usually work. So if you want to talk to me, really the email and setting up a time is better, because Jamie and I are going to be out with the kids and moving around. There will be someone there that can probably answer the phone and get a quick question to someone, but summer school is so short with those little 3 hours. I don't want you to leave a voicemail that's urgent and then we not get it. Same for the JBB office. There is a phone number there. You can call and leave a message, especially if it's a plan of transportation, and hopefully someone can pick up and answer it. But if you would like to talk to myself or Jamie directly, you may not get us until later in the day when students have gone home. So our schedule, we are going to get off the buses and out of Carline around 9 o'clock. Breakfast is offered to all students. They do not have to take it, but it is offered under the federal guidelines for free and reduced lunch right now. All students are offered it. There will be no peanut products in any of the breakfast meals, we're just being safe of any peanut allergies. And during that time, they'll carry their breakfast if they want it into the classrooms, and then they will have their morning meetings. During their morning meetings, they'll just get to meet and greet with the teachers. They'll get a time to interact with each other and just kind of do some get to know you skill building. Some of that will involve goal setting, teaching kids about goal setting, or teaching kids about communicating, because some of those pieces we haven't had the chance to do like we normally do in the school year. 9:30 to 10:30, we'll do small group differentiated reading instruction. The teachers know where your students finished up. At the end of the school year, we were sharing all of that information, and we grouped kids to help with that. And so they'll be able to pick up with the reading instruction where we left off. In math, we focused as a whole on some of the curriculum that students in the whole county kind of struggled with, number sense being a big part of that. It's hard to do number sense quickly in a COVID year and get it and master it. So we're going back and really working on a lot of those skills. So the math instruction will be an hour also. And then at the end, about 30 minutes, we'll do some social skill building and we'll have time to pack up. We know for a lot of kids, this might be their first time in a building since March of COVID year. And so we want to give time that we can just practice some of those routines and practice that connecting with a teacher. Oh, one thing I'll say about that, but you don't have to go back, Eileen. There is not recess, I hope you noticed, and there aren't centers or anything. So we won't be worrying about that. The children will get off the bus and stay in their classroom and receive that quality instruction, and then they will head home. So you don't need to worry about if the recess and some of those pieces, we're really going to mostly be in our classrooms during that time. Now, transportation is probably the most important thing. There's a website off of WJCC's main site for bus information. The bus and transportation for WJCC has been working very hard to figure out all the bus routes. But some of the information that they had has changed, and families have had changes. And so it's really important for you to look and see. I do know that some families had wanted to have the kids do one type of transportation in the morning on a bus and another transportation in the afternoon on the bus. If that involves them switching buses, then it won't be able to work. Because of COVID mitigations, we need to really keep students on the same bus. So if anything happens COVID related, we have them in one location. But please check the website, put in your address, and make sure that that route and that pickup spot is where it's supposed to be, because we're going to need to know those changes. If you're driving and dropping off, because there are lots of schools coming together, I know at most schools we do a number system. We put it in our window, we have cards. We may move to that number system a week or two in, but at first we will not. We will be asking every family member to show us a valid ID to pick up a child. In the name of the child that they pick up, they have to be listed in view as being able to pick them up. That's just for safety reasons, so we can make sure we're getting the children to the same and correct places, since we don't know everyone. If there's a certain person who's going to pick up your child, make sure that the teacher knows that, so we'll be able to check ID for that person. We'll pick up and drop off right in front of the school. Just make sure you're there to pick up by 12:05. The contract hours are short for teachers, so we don't want anyone sticking around for a long time looking for parents to pick up. So we're going to let the buses off at 12, and we are going to let the kids release for pickup at 12. One thing I'd like to say about Rec Connect, many of families are using Rec Connect. It's a great partnership that we have in WJCC County. I know that for Rec Connect, there's some different days, like a swimming day and some things where Rec Connect is not there in the afternoons when we release from summer school. If your child is going to summer school and then they are going swimming at Rec Connect and they aren't there, please let us know exactly where they need to go. and let us know how they're getting home, because I know that the Rec Connect may not be there in the evenings. We're going to talk a little bit about COVID mitigation, because I know there have been some changes on the state level, and you've seen changes in the communities, but we haven't been able to talk about that for a minute about schools. So in public schools, which I think that you all are aware of, K-4 students are not vaccinated. So we will continue to wear masks all day in our time in summer school. They need to wear the masks on the bus. They would not have to wear them outside if we had recess, but there will not be recess. So they need to be wearing them on the bus, and they need to be wearing them when they come into school. We are going to have them have some space out, that 6 feet space as best we can. In some situations, we have them kind of potted together in desks if they're working in the summer school area. But at that time, they would always work with the same 2 or 3 students, so it would be much more connected, and we would have a good feeling about who they have been around. We're going to keep some of that more intense social interactions for less than 15 minutes as we can, frequently washing hands. We have a cleaning procedure. And we do need students to stay home if they're not feeling good. And we need doctor's notices so we can know what is going on with the symptoms, so that we don't start anything or have anything spread in this time of summer school. Just like during the school year, if there was a COVID outbreak, then for 7 days, that group of students will have to stay at home. And then if they provided a negative test, then they would be able to come back. Or if they didn't, they would be out the whole 14 days, which would be 2 weeks of summer school. So we have been so proactive and careful about things. I don't foresee us having that, but I want us prepared. Teachers, whether they are vaccinated or not, will be wearing masks as well, because that is protecting for the kids and also a very good model for the kids about that importance of mask wearing. We are going to have a big, nice collaboration with Williamsburg Library. They've been so great. So that every week, where students not needing a library card, my kids have a library card at home, but they don't need to bring a library card. They're going to be able to check out books and have books come to their classroom. They're going to deliver it through the library, and they're going to have the chance every day in summer school to look at those books, and then the library will come back and take them back away. Those books will stay at school. They won't be carrying them back and forth, but it'll be a nice time for them to see some different kinds of books and partner with the library. At the same time, the library, because they are great, they are going to have a book fair, and students will all get to walk through the book fair and pick books of whatever books they like and take them home for free. So those books will come home. Those are going to be brand new books, and they will be the kids to keep. And so we're really excited for that book fair. That'll come July 19th and 20th, but I'll give more information as it comes closer. So these are the last sort of bigger details. Water fountains have been turned off. So we don't need a lot of things at school. We don't need a lot of supply. We're providing the supplies. They'll be zip-locked for students, and they'll stay in the building with their names on them. So we have the supplies for students. They don't need to bring supplies. They don't need to bring a snack. They don't need to bring anything, but if they want to bring a backpack, they can. Because water fountains will be turned off, they probably want to bring a water bottle. There is not homework in elementary summer school, and there are not grades in elementary summer school. So because of that, we won't be sending a lot of information back and forth. The teachers might send a note in the backpack or something, but overall, they're going to be using View. Under student view and parent view and teacher view, we'll be able to send emails back and forth. There is a chance that a few teachers may get started on Remind. You'll know if they reach out to you. But since summer school is short, I think we're going to really rely on View because that's where everyone's information is, to email back and forth. Every teacher will be reaching out to you today or tomorrow. You may have already heard from your child's teacher, just to introduce themselves. But no, in general, they don't need to bring anything outside of themselves except for a water bottle, since we won't have the water fountains turned on. And they will get to use computers and devices, but all of those things stay at school. The devices will not go back and forth like we have done this spring. Just a couple more last minute things. Attendance matters. We really need students to be consistent. And if you can, if I understand there's some vacations in there, I understand there's some appointments in there, just every day, we really need the students here. It's 19 days, that's it. So it's gonna go really, really, really fast. And so every day we would like them there. Obviously, if they're not feeling well, please keep them home, but let us know what happened because of COVID situations. We need to be aware of any health concerns. We want your child learning and growing with us and ready for this 2022 school year. It's going to be a whole new world when we go 5 days a week for that long day in person. So we really want to use this time of summer school, these like shorter days, to prepare for that. Please be on time. It throws teachers off and our program off. It's only 3 hours. When people are late every day, by the time you would show up late, it's almost time to dismiss. And be consistent and just let us know of anything about your child or what your child, if they may be missing for any reason. I know that you all have a lot of questions. I know that you may have something you need to ask me. I'm gonna, if you wanna take us off the PowerPoint, Eileen, I'll let Jamie see if there's if there are very specific questions, Jamie, I would prefer you not read them to me, and I'll try to email. I'll email you specifically as a family, or I will email generally about that. But if there's some more general questions, Jamie, that you feel everyone can ask, then or would want to know, then I would love to hear them. Oh, sorry, Jamie, you can't be unmuted. Where's Eileen? I don't know if I can unmute.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Great.
Okay, some questions. I think this was a little confusing. So rising fifth graders do come to elementary summer
Yes.
school. Those who just finished fourth grade will come to elementary summer school. If your child just finished fifth grade, then they go to the middle school summer school. So that was a little confusing, I think, for some.
Oh yeah, so if your child is just finished fourth going to fifth, you are in the right place.
Right.
If your child just finished fifth and is going to sixth, we do want them to get into the middle school and get used to it there. Great.
Can you repeat again which schools are going to which sites, Leah?
Yeah. Okay, so
Clarify.
Clara Bird Baker, CBB, and that school, if you're not sure where it is, it's kind of between 5 and Jamestown, kind of sandwiched, and they're off of Ironbound Road. That school will have CBB, Clara Bird Baker. It'll have James River. It will have Laura Lane Elementary School, and it will have Matthew Whaley. Those students will all be attending CBB's summer school. If your student goes to Matoka or Stonehouse, if they go to Norge, CJ, I'm missing one. Should have counted. JBB or JBB. That's right. They attend JBB summer school. There are a few exceptions to those rules, but otherwise that is how we're doing it. It's based on sort of your area and location.
If the transportation website doesn't have the pickup information, they're saying that there's no bus pickup at the address on the website.
Oh, well then they could reach out. They could reach out to transportation. Transportation told me that they uploaded all of the routes, that those have been set as of 2 days ago. So if your child was taking the bus, they should be there. If it's not there, I would reach out to transportation and see what is going on.
As far as mask breaks, I would assume that that's something that teachers will do individually, provide opportunities for students to take mask breaks. And I
They
think
were
that's
pre-
something kids are used to from school.
They were pretty used to having a little bit of time if they could. It would always be short, not like the 30-minute recess, but they would give little breaks. Or sometimes kids would go to the bathroom, but not really need to go and take a little moment in the bathroom and take their mask off. So I'm certain that the teacher will talk them through those opportunities on the first day.
There was a question about student dress code.
The dress code is the same as during the normal school year. The difference would be at James River, we are a uniform school. The uniforms obviously will not be necessary in summer school unless they just would like to wear that. The sandal rule gets a little loose in the I know at a lot of schools it's really strict on sandals. We'll get loose because we're not doing recess. But that we really need those right shoes on for PE and recess, and we won't have that.
If someone has a question about ESY, who is the right contact for them?
So Courtney Fuller is the best person to ask about ESY. She's the director of it for through the central office. ESY and the ESL program. The ESL program is under Marie Knight. It's like a program within a program. I'll still be the principal of the school, make sure everything is going on. Jamie will still be leading to make sure everything's going smoothly that day. But in terms of individual questions about ESY or about ESL, you actually should ask someone else. So Courtney Fuller is who for ESY, and then Marie Knight, she is for ESL. They're both out of the central office if you have a specific question for one of them.
There was a question about days attending. So some ESY students may only be attending a few days a week. So that's a student to student basis. So reach out to.
Okay, yes. If you would please reach out to Courtney Fuller about that, or if you hear from your child's teacher, reach out to them because I wouldn't know the specifics about that at all. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eileen. She put Courtney's email in the chat if you're looking for that.
Questions about how Rec Connect works. Can you repeat that information about Rec Connect again?
So I'm going to be pretty honest. I don't exactly know how Rec Connect works. I do know that it magically works, that there's multiple sites for Rec Connect and you had to sign your child up for that already. I don't know if you could still sign them up if that's not around. I do know that we have groups of students that are already attending Rec Connect. So they will, in my head, be going to Rec Connect in the morning. And then at 9 a.m., we will pick them up. We pick them up the same time we pick up the car drop-off students. This is what we do in the school year if they're at Rec Connect. We'll take them to summer school. And then at the end of the time, just when we dismiss the car riders, we dismiss Rec Connect. We walk them back down and bring them over. There's a few situations where they're attending CBB summer school, but Laura Lane's Rec Connect. And if so, there is a bus that actually will transport them for those situations. The only complication with Rec Connect this year that I was told, and I really don't know a ton about Rec Connect, but I do know is that they have a swim day. And on that swim day, when we are releasing from summer school, Rec Connect will not be in the building. The Rec Connect leadership at each site, at both JBB and CBB today, both told me that they've reached out to parents to tell them about that. So if you're a part of Rec Connect, look on your emails or your phone messages because they were reaching out to try to explain that situation. So on those days, if your child is Rec Connect CBB and it's a Tuesday and it's a swim day, then we can't just leave them in a room by themselves if Rec Connect's not there. So they'll need another way to get home. Oh, thank you, Eileen. She put the Rec Connect info line. I know the Rec Connect leadership at both schools were saying they were reaching out to families to clarify that. But otherwise, Rec Connect's pretty simple. We take you back there and then I guess you all pick them up sometime later in the afternoon.
I'm not seeing the things that Eileen is posting.
Oh, Eileen, are you only messaging me? I haven't.
Might be. I don't know if anybody
Eileen,
else
if you can
sees it.
repost any of those emails and make sure they're going to everyone. That's great. Any others, Jamie? Or are they mostly ones we can address through email?
I think so. I think most of the other ones I see are more personal questions.
Great.
And those parents should just reach out to Leah specifically for those answers.
Great. So it's Leah, Leah, and then a dot, Horrell, Horrell, at wjccschools.org. And if I don't know the answer, I'll see if I can find someone who does know the answer. I think next week could be a little bit bumpy as we're trying to figure out and get started. And it's been 4th of July, but I met with all the teachers today and they're very excited. They were tired. If you hadn't heard from them yet, they were taking a little break. I told them not to reach out to parents yet, but now they're back and ready to go and reaching out to parents. And so hopefully you will hear from them soon. Or on Student View, it may actually list their summer school teacher. I haven't looked at that before to know, but you may be able to reach out to them this way. Eileen is listing now the transportation phone number. Courtney Fuller, ESY, if you had a specific question about that program. Those were the things we had mentioned. So if there isn't any, and the Rep Connect, if you wanted to check on that. I see the question about remind about things. I don't know if they're going to do remind or not. I know that many teachers used it during the school year and really liked it, so they easily could pick back up. But I know their first way to reach out to you will be through View, because that is how they have your phone numbers and that is how they have your emails. Because the information, and if the information on View is not updated, if your information on View it's an old phone number, it's an old email, please try to get a hold of me and let me know, because they need the best way to reach out to you. And so they're going to reach out to whatever is in your student's View account. We're going to send emails today or tomorrow, or even phone calls today and tomorrow, and then they may switch to Remind for the ones that are comfortable. But since they don't have all of your information right away, they were going to reach out that way first, because that's how they know you.
You can go into Parent View and check that information and update it. Sometimes it'll let you through Parent View. So if you're not sure if they have the correct address or phone number, please double check that in Parent View.
Well, we're looking forward to next week. This is not a one and done conversation. I am certain we're going to have many, many more along the way. And we're here for you. It's going to be a good summer. It's going to be an engaging summer, and we're going to be more ready than we were to start back on August 30th. It's coming fast this year, fast, but we're going to be ready for it. And I'm just thrilled to meet all of your kids, and Jamie's thrilled to meet all of your kids. It's going to be a start of a fun partnership in a short amount of time, and we're excited for them. Okay, Eileen, I don't know if you need anything else to finish us up, but otherwise I think we're pretty good.
I just put in the chat, but I wanted to remind everyone that today's presentation has been recorded and live streamed. You can watch it again on YouTube or on the school division's webpage. It will be embedded on the summer school landing page by this time tomorrow, actually by lunchtime tomorrow. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and we'll get back in touch with you with responses as soon as possible.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.